How's it going, everybody? Welcome into another video in the first episode of a new series that I'm very excited about called Movie Drafts. Now, I'm going to make a quick disclaimer real quick before we get into this. This is not an original idea at all. Snake drafts are not an original idea. I do at least 3 every year for fantasy football. You know, I know that other entities have done snake drafts on different things. I literally got this idea from Barstool Chicago doing snake drafts over quarantine. But it is our spin on movies, just movies. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's bringing together film YouTubers and people in the space to talk about movies or characters or any topic that we really like. So I'm very excited about that. I think this is going to be a really fun series to do, and I'm not doing it alone. My co-host is Chris from Film Stocked. We're doing it, Chris. We're doing a series together. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm always excited. Snake draft, I always, like you said, fantasy football, that's where I knew it from. So I'm excited to do this related to movies. And it's funny because I know that you had the FinaticFilm podcast going. I don't know if that's up in the air, but I enjoy being on there. So I'm excited to be on this.
Not up in the air. It is coming back at the beginning of April. A lot happened. South by Southwest happened. So that stuff took precedent. It will be coming back. Don't worry about that. And then the 2 guests, I am so excited to have both of them because I've never collabed with either of them. We've got Jennifer Vega, Trevor, or from Film Geeks. And Jennifer, what was your channel again? I just want to make sure I don't botch it.
It's just my name, Jennifer Vega. So
all right,
yeah.
Awesome. So we've got Jennifer, Trevor here, both. Thank you guys for coming. I'll ask you, Jennifer, first. How are you doing? Thank you for coming on today.
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be doing this. I don't really get to collab often because I'm kind of new to the whole platform, but this is really exciting, and I'm really happy to be here with all of you.
And my man, Trevor, how you doing, man? We're finally doing it. First collab. How you doing, man?
It's going downtown, dude. I'm doing super rocking fantastic. It's cool to meet Jennifer because I've been watching her videos for such a long time. And Jack, you and I done like
we did live stream.
Live stream with Chris before. I couldn't think of the word, brain fart. But it's good to be doing this, bro. I'm super hype, and I'm gonna win. That's all I gotta say. It's coming in hot.
All right.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that.
We'll see about that.
You take this number 1, you might. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, no.
So basically, that's like number 10.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just going to run through the rules real quick for you guys. This is going to be a series that, could go on for a long time. Maybe we turn it into like a tournament. Maybe we have win-loss records. I'll talk to Chris about that. We'll figure it out. But this is kind of how the rules are going to work. It's simple. 5-round snake draft. We already picked the draft order. On my life, literally did it right before we hit record. So we've got the draft order going. The category was pre-selected by Chris and myself. We gave it to the contestants ahead of time so everyone knows what it is. We made our draft boards. And then afterwards, when this video goes up, there will be a Twitter poll. I don't know where it's going to be. It's either going to be on my personal Twitter or my FinaticFilm Twitter. I got to figure that out. There will be a graphic and a Twitter poll. You vote on who you think has the best team. I say that in air quotes. Who has the best team? And whatever poll wins the draft. And that, maybe how we figure out win-loss records or standings or stuff like that. Chris and I will always be on unless Chris is busy. We will both always be on. We will always have 2 guests on as well. And I think without further ado, guys, let's just get into the draft. So I'm going to give the draft order first. So drafting number 1 overall is Trevor. Jennifer is drafting 2nd. Chris is drafting 3rd. And I got the short straw and I'm drafting 4th, but I do get the wraparound and I do get 5th. And the category is 2019 movies. A year that a lot of us think could be one of the best years of film. I think would argue one of, I wouldn't say the best, but one of, and there are no subcategories. It's just the movies. So without further ado, I think Trevor, let's get it going.
All right. So there's 2019 to me actually is the best year for film, my favorite year by far. And my first overall pick, it's got to be Avengers End Game. I think that's kind of a given. That's one of my favorite movies, like possibly ever. I think it's my favorite MCU movie now. Got to go Avengers End Game. Changed my life, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's
a given, right?
We were talking about it before. I said there's one pick that I want that I know I'm not going to get, and that was it. That is my favorite movie of all time. I absolutely love that movie. Jennifer, what do you think about that pick at number 1 overall? Do you think it's worthy of the number 1 overall pick?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was my number 1 pick, and I'm honestly I'm not even surprised that it was taken already because, I mean, it's Endgame. That was the movie of the year that everybody was waiting for. And that movie was just awesome. even every time that I rewatch it, I still think it's as awesome as the first time. Sure, there's some little plot holes that it has and whatever, but I still enjoy it so much. And it's also one of my favorite Marvel movies. Like, I mean, it's Endgame.
It's Endgame. I mean, I
Exactly.
completely agree. Chris, what do you think?
I think that's the equivalent of Trevor Lawrence going number 1 in this upcoming NFL draft. That's what that is. Like, it's a lock. I knew that was going number 1. I wanted the number 1 spot for that because I feel like that's going to carry a lot of weight in the Twitter poll. Most people see Endgame, they're like, oh, if I had to pick one, I can't get rid of Endgame. I can budge on some of these other movies, but Endgame, I don't know. Trevor looks like the favorite already, but we'll see how the rest of this draft plays out.
I mean, hey, he's got the number 1 pick, but then he's not drafting again until I think the 8th pick.
This is true.
I know. So I'm short end of the stick here now, guys. You guys got the chance.
He's got the Trevor Lawrence, but we'll see what's still on the board when he gets back. So we've got Jennifer at number 2. What do you got, Jennifer?
Parasite.
Parasite.
Oh, nice.
There it is. Best picture winner off the board. Yeah. Chris, what do you think, man? You think that's a good number 2 pick?
I do. That was actually, if I was picking to try and win that Twitter poll, that would have been up there. I mean, the best picture winner. I don't know a single person who dislikes this movie. I think that it's the reason it won best picture because of the way the preferential ballot plays out. Most people probably had that 1, 2, or 3. So it took home the award for a reason. Can't argue with that pick.
Yeah. Trevor, what do you think?
Honestly, I'm surprised it went number 2. I thought it was going to go maybe number 4. That was kind of my thought process going in. I was hoping it would go number 8 so I could get Parasite. Thanks, Jennifer. Kind of ruining my plans here. But no, come on. Parasite's Parasite. It's like I don't like the word masterpiece, but it's pretty dang close. It's really good, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you hoped it dropped to 8, but
yeah,
best picture winner.
I know. I wasn't expecting it to.
Yeah, what are we gonna do about that? Bong Joon-ho is a national treasure who should be protected at all costs. I like that pick. It was definitely on my board. I don't know if I would have taken it number 2 overall. There's a few that I like a little bit more, but no doubt, great pick. Chris, what are we doing here? I think I know, but what are we doing here?
I would be doing myself and everyone watching this video a disservice. The shirt gives it away. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Honestly, I might make a statement here. I think it's my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. I've been hiding that for so long, but I seriously think it is. I love that movie to death. And honestly, I'm looking at what I could get later. I'm not that far off in the pick, so that's why I went ahead and solidified that. Just because that's like when you're in a fantasy football draft and you have a favorite team, for example, if it's the Patriots back when Brady was there, you might just pick him even if it's not the wisest pick. You got to go with your heart, and that's what I'm doing here. Had to.
I'm not surprised in the slightest at all. Trevor, what do you think about that?
To me, it's my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. Granted, I haven't seen all of them, but if he wore that shirt and he didn't pick that number 1, I mean, he had to take off the shirt. That's just facts, man.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that is true. Jennifer, what do you think about this pick?
Well, actually, I mean, I think it's a good pick because I also had it in my picks, but I'm actually not a big fan of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I was a really big fan when I first saw it, but I feel like the more I rewatch it, the less I like it. And it's not even like it's a terrible movie because I don't think it's a terrible movie at all. It's beautifully made and it's Quentin Tarantino. He does no wrong. But I don't know, I just feel like I don't connect with the characters enough to always want to rewatch that movie. And it's I haven't seen all Tarantino movies, but it's not one of my favorites, but again, it's not a terrible movie. So that's kind of my opinion on that.
Yeah, I'm kind of flipped on that. The more I watch it, the more I'm like, I kind of dig it a little bit more. It's not my favorite Tarantino movie either. Yeah. Django Unchained, I think, is an absolute masterpiece. And unlike a lot of people on film Twitter, I do not throw that term around lightly. I do think it is a masterpiece from Tarantino. But hey, am I surprised? Absolutely not.
Real quick before we move on, I definitely see all the points that are it does meander quite a bit. It's not my cup of tea. I totally get that. Yeah. To me, just Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth are some of the coolest movie characters ever. I just want to see them hang out. I could have watched a day-long movie of that. So that's just
And also the ending of that movie is awesome. I just have to throw that in there. The last 30 minutes are fantastic. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt. I would love so I know that film Twitter's been talking a lot about extended cuts, director's cuts. I would love the 30-minute cut of Rick and Cliff sitting on the couch watching that episode of, I think it was FBI. I want to see them talking about the entire episode. I want that 30-minute cut of them talking about that episode. That is absolutely fantastic. Now I'm going to ask a question to the room. Okay. Because I don't know. I think I know what I want to take number 4, but I'm also going to implement this rule right now. I didn't think I was going to, but I'm going to. 3 people can veto a vote. If they don't think that it fits, The other three can veto, but it has to be all three. So if one person thinks that it's a valid point, then it can stay. All three people can veto. So I'm going to ask, since 1917 technically debuted in 2020 or in 2019 and was part of the Oscar race in 2020 for that Oscars, does that count even though it was widely released in 2020? What do we think about that?
So you're saying because it got the Christmas release in 1917?
It was technically released in 2019. It wasn't widely released until 2020, but it was still in the Oscar running for the Oscars for the 2019 movies.
Yeah,
so
I think it's a 2019 movie, and there's a few as well, like Little Women. I think that is another one that did the same thing. Yeah. So I think because if you look at the Oscars, and if you go to IMDb, I want to say it says 2019. I think that it's totally fair because I actually was looking into maybe picking some of those. So
okay, then I'm taking 1917.
Yeah.
I think
there you go.
It was the one that was the front runner for all the Oscars. It pulled the Nomadland of this year, so that makes me a little concerned for Nomadland at the Oscars this year. But Sam Mendes won all the awards up until then. It was winning Best Picture all up until then. And I believe, as someone that loves cinematography, as that being one of my favorite aspects of film in general, it's a beautifully shot film. The way they were able to do the one take trick. I know some people think it's a gimmick. And in some movies, I think it is, but in this one, it's not. It is a character in itself. I think it's absolutely fantastic. One of the best war movies of all time, I would argue. And I mean, it's just a brilliant movie. So I had to take it. So I'm taking 1917. Chris, I'm going to ask you first. What do you think, man?
I got to give that movie another shot. I had a video idea. I was going to maybe rewatch it and give a second viewing because I've only seen it once in theaters. I got the 4K on Black Friday. I think it was Black Friday. But either way, it's a movie that I was underwhelmed by. Obviously, it's gorgeously shot. From a technical standpoint, I think that it actually is a masterpiece, like from the filmmaking aspect of it. When it comes down to the actual plot and story, I wasn't as invested as I wanted to be. And I get that, again, the gorgeous cinematography, but the character moments weren't there for me. And there's a certain decision in the movie that I can't stand. It's a spoiler, so I won't say it. But I got to give it another shot. But I think it's still a good pick. It almost won Best Picture. It was the front runner going into the Oscars.
Yeah. Jennifer, what do you think?
I'm right with Chris. I'm the same way. I think it's like a technical masterpiece, but I was also underwhelmed. I saw it a little bit late after. I didn't get to see it in theaters or anything. I think I ended up renting it right before the Oscars for that year. And I just didn't feel it. Like it goes back to the thing with the characters. I love characters in movies, and I just couldn't feel the characters in this movie either. And I think that was like a detriment for the movie for me because I want to rewatch it just to see if maybe I changed my mind on it, but it's not one that's on the top of my list. Like, oh, I really need to rewatch this because it's like I just love the characters so much for that. But still, I think what it was able to achieve was awesome, and I'm not going to disregard it for that because it's a really awesome technical achievement.
Yeah, of course. And Trevor, what do you think?
I saw this one time in theaters, and I think it is a perfect movie for a one-time viewing. I don't need to see it again. I loved when I watched it in theaters. I absolutely loved it. I gave it like a 9 out of 10. I said, this movie's great, but it's one of those movies I never want to rewatch. I'm a big guy on rewatchability. It's why I own my physical media so I can rewatch movies. If I'm being honest, Jack, I think it went a little early. I thought that'd be like the last round. Ran round one. I said, hey, all right, dude. But I think 97 is a great movie. I do think it went a little bit early though.
Okay, I see that. But I do get the wraparound picks. That's okay.
I know.
I'm going to.
No, you got two right now.
I'm gonna, because I know what I'm taking, so I'm going to redeem myself. I got to take Knives Out.
Oh,
Chris,
man.
I thought I could sneak it.
Nah, got to take Knives Out, man. I got to take Knives Out.
You might have just won, Jack.
I don't know. We'll see how the draft plays out, but I got to take Knives Out. Rian Johnson's writing and direction, I think, is really, really well done. You've got an all-star studded cast. It's funny. It's serious when it needs to be. I think the storytelling, how they go back and forth, is fantastic. This is one of the most fun movie experiences I had in theaters in a long time. And I got to see it with my parents, which was awesome. And we had a great time. Knives Out. I got to take it. Jennifer, what do you think about that pick?
Awesome. That's my favorite movie of 2019. So I was actually going to take it next, and then you beat me to it.
I think I beat everyone to it. I think I did.
Sure did.
Chris, what do you think?
But yeah, I'll say I was literally like hoping you would pick any other movie because I was like, if I get Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Knives Out, I've got a solid roster. But It is what it is. It is what it is. Life goes on. I'll have to rearrange my draft order here, but it's a very solid pick. I thought it would go first round.
Well, my thought process for this is, so 1917 was my number 3 movie of 2019. Endgame was number 1. My number 2 movie, I think it might fall to me. I think it might. And I'm not going to say what it is, but it might fall to me. So I had to take Knives Out because I know that is such a fantastic movie. But Trevor, I saw your reaction as well. What do you think about that pick?
I was hoping that'd be like one, like, because that was one of my favorite movies of the year. I was hoping it'd be one. I was like, oh, that did come out in 2019. That would be kind of like sneak under the radar a little bit. And it didn't. All honesty, I was campaigning for Daniel Craig to get an Oscar nom. I mean, that dude was too good. It's donut hole inside a donut's hole, dude. It's too good. So congrats to you. That's a big one, bro. That's gonna take you to the deep big leagues.
I told you I was going to redeem myself with that pick, and I think I did. So I'm very happy about
really
that.
did.
Chris, you got your wraparound pick. What are you taking?
This is the most crucial and critical pick for me, just because of the placement wise. Because there's one I'm looking at that I might be able to snag, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it. I don't know. It didn't make my top 10 because technically it falls in the 1917 category, but I'm going Little Women. I'm going Little Women. I think Greta Gerwig killed it. Absolutely killed it. I wish that she won over, I think, Taika for Adapted that year. I think Taika won for a certain movie. I'm not going to talk about it, but yeah, I got to go Little Women. I think that it's a fantastic like ensemble movie. I need to rewatch it, but I think I'm throwing a little bit of variety in there, and it's just a great movie. I got to rewatch it.
I really like the variety. I think Greta Gerwig really took that. I don't want to say that franchise because it's not a franchise, but the source material, and she really made it her own. Brought I wouldn't say a flair, but she was very meticulous about how she went about it, and I really enjoyed that. Trevor, what do you think about that pick?
Oh, you're a bastard, because that was my tied for number 1 movie of the year. That and Avengers End Game. So that one. I literally thought, I said, no one's gonna remember Little Women.
I knew that one would mess with you.
God, dude, once you did it, I literally was staring at it. I said, oh, you're mine, sucker. You're coming home with me. And then you said it, and I literally like looked up. I was like, God dang it, you. So
just remember, Trevor, you got Endgame. So just remember that. All right.
I know, but I wanted Little Women too.
That number 1 pick is a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing and a curse. Jennifer, what do you think about that pick?
Awesome pick. You guys keep beating me to it because that was actually my 3rd pick too. I love Little Women. That's also tied there with my first place being Knives Out of 2019. I mean, I've seen, I think, all of the Little Women adaptations, and I've read the book, and this is the best version that I've seen it be. I love it, and especially as somebody that like really likes the character of Amy in this movie, I think she was done justice in this one because I don't think she was in the other movies, and I just really appreciate everything that it has to say. And like me myself being a woman, I love watching this movie, and like it just makes me so happy. Like it just makes me so happy. I love this movie so much. So yeah, great pick, and I think a lot of people on Twitter are really gonna like that one.
Yeah, we stand Florence Pugh. Is that the way?
Yeah.
Did I use that terminology correct? I don't know.
Yeah.
She is the best. Jennifer, you got your wraparound pick. What are you taking? We said we already took 2 of your ones. So
Okay.
What do you got?
I'm gonna take Jojo Rabbit because I love this one so much, and I think a lot of people also really like this one. And I mean, I just love it. It's like one of the best comedies I've ever seen and satires ever.
And it won adapted screenplay. It won adapted. Yeah.
Yeah,
or
I think it
original.
did,
Adapted.
That's one I wanted. I didn't think it would slip, so I knew when I took 1917 Knives that I probably was not going to get it coming back. But I think that's a fantastic pick. Chris, what do you think about that one?
The pick was Jojo Rabbit, correct?
Yes.
I watched that movie the week of the Oscars because I did not see it in theaters, and it was a pleasant surprise. I'll be honest, it took a while for me to get on board with like Taika's style in that one. It was a little like off-putting at first, but by the end, it was I had a smile on my face. I love the ending of that movie. It's very sweet, just a very sweet movie.
Trevor, how are we feeling?
You know what? I haven't seen it. I own it, and I still haven't watched it. So that's one I got to get onto. So I know. So I'm not too upset about that one. Good pick, Jennifer. I'm sure people are gonna love it.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to watch like before Thor 4, maybe.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
A little Taika marathon.
Well, I will say, Trevor, when you watch it, you will be disappointed in the pick. So
Oh, I'm sure I will.
you will be. But Trevor, you're up, man. Back to number 8. What do you got?
Alrighty, I'm throwing a curveball on here because this movie surprised the hell out of me. It was, I think, a top 7, maybe top 5 of the year. You guys are never going to guess it. It's Doctor Sleep, the sequel to The Shining. I absolutely love that movie, dude. That one's probably none of you guys are thinking of. I know there's a big following for that on Twitter. My Twitter peeps, where you at, huh? Where you at, huh?
Yeah, that definitely a curveball. Thank God we got a curveball because mine might slip a little further now. But Jennifer, what are we thinking about Doctor Sleep?
So I was actually one of those people on Twitter that was hyping up Doctor Sleep a lot because The Shining is like my favorite movie of all time. But I gotta say, I was disappointed in Doctor Sleep, so that's why I completely forgot that even came out in 2019. So yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know. I just don't really like. I was very disappointed, honestly, when I saw that movie. And I don't know if it's because I love The Shining too much and I couldn't like separate the two because they're completely different movies. But I don't know. I just didn't really like that movie. I honestly forgot that came out in 2019. So thanks for the reminder.
Jeepers creepers.
Chris, what are we thinking?
I actually haven't seen Doctor Sleep. Yeah, I almost said Doctor Strange for some reason, but yeah, I really like The Shining. It's not one of my favorite movies, but it's like a classic. Everyone should see it. I don't even rewatch it that much. But the fact that Ewan McGregor's in it very much interests me. I hear there's a great director's cut of that everyone says is actually better than the original.
Yeah,
so I want to watch
yeah.
that like this Halloween, this spooky season.
Yeah, I really want to watch the director's cut because a lot of people say it's better, and I'm like, maybe it'll enhance my experience while watching it because I do want to love this movie, but I don't, and that's like really like I don't know if that happens to you guys sometimes when you really want to like a certain movie and you just don't. Yeah, that's
like
how
a lot.
with
That's
this one.
I'll be honest, that's a lot of new releases for me because I see the hype on Twitter and I'm just like, oh, it just didn't do it for me.
No kidding.
Yeah, well, I have not seen Doctor Sleep as well, but I don't have it, but I've been a few times at the store. I've been like, ooh, should I? But I'm going to eventually. But hey,
you should.
Outside the box pick. And Trevor, you got the wraparound. So what do you got again?
Oh, I got another one.
Yeah,
it's a snake draft, bro.
Yeah, you get a snake
draft.
This could be a dagger.
Woo! Alrighty. Everyone, hang out a sec.
Even he wasn't prepared for that.
I literally said I got like how many more picks till me? I was like, I just screwed myself so bad.
No, you are here. You are again. You're on the clock once again.
Alrighty, I got a couple picks. You know what? I'm going. Oh man, I don't know. It's a flip of a coin.
Don't pick what I want.
I think I know what everyone I don't know what Jennifer's doing. She has some sneaky picks, but I feel like I know exactly where Jack is at, and I'm not going to pick the movie he's going to pick.
I mean, if you want to be a dick, you can. But
I won't. But I think I know what Trevor's flipping a coin on. We'll see. Just go.
I already have a superhero movie. I'm going Ford v Ferrari. A comic book movie. I'm going Ford v Ferrari.
Son of a...
Oh man.
There was another comic movie I'm staring at right now that I held off on. Someone's probably gonna take that one.
Dude, that's a very interesting pick because there's a movie on the board. I'm surprised that Jack nor Trevor have thought of it yet. That's all I'm saying.
Is it happen to be in the DC universe and it's not the one around?
No.
I know what Chris is picking next. I know it.
Man.
I'm so disappointed.
Sorry, pal.
I can see it on your face. That one hurt you.
It's pain. It's like the tweets that say pain. That's what it is. Obviously, I love the pick. That was my number 2 of the year. That's what I was hoping would drop to me in my next pick. But Jennifer, what do you think?
That's a great movie and that's a really great pick. But actually, I'm disappointed in myself because I forgot to write that movie down. So yeah, I'm so disappointed in myself. When you said it, I was like, oh damn, I missed that one. But yeah, great movie, great pick.
It's funny you mentioned that because I feel like that's what happened at the Oscars, honestly. Like I feel like that movie, like especially from the acting, like Bale. Why did Bale not get nominated? I thought Damon killed it too. So
I thought Damon did too.
Awesome job.
Yeah. Damon, when I walked out of the movie, everyone was, Ken Miles, what's his name? Christian Bale. That's Ken Miles, right?
Yeah.
Everyone was like, oh, he killed it. And I'm like, Damon was he was up there with him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a reason why it's my number 2 favorite movie of that year. It's just, I don't know. It did something to me in the theaters. I loved it.
Dude, that was like probably one of the best theater experiences I had. I was like next to this group of like 5 homies and I was there by myself and they were like, no, they must've been racers because they were freaking out, jumping, swearing. I was like there with them. I was like, this is effing sick. Oh my God. Everyone was like, yeah, it was awesome, dude. Great. Such a fun time. Great movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched it in the theater by myself. I was the only one there. but that's what you get when you're at the downtown Phoenix AMC. No one's ever there, so it's great. But yeah, as you can tell by my reaction, I am very not happy about that pick because it's a great pick, and third round for that. That's kind of surprising. But Jennifer, you're back up. Number 3 pick for you. What do you got?
Okay, so this next one is actually one that I haven't seen, but I've seen so much hype on Twitter about it, and it's gonna be Uncut Gems.
Oh,
Nice one.
That's
that
a
was
good
gonna be my next pick. I'm gonna be honest. So that's a good one.
Yeah, I still have to watch it. It's been on my list forever. I really need to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, Chris, what do you think? You were going to take it. What do you think about that pick?
I was gonna take. It was between. I was gonna flip a coin, and that I was
Don't
leaning
say
towards that.
don't say what the
I'm not
coin
gonna say
flip
what.
is. But
No. I will not reveal the secrets on this. No. But I might have something up my sleeve. But I think that's a very, very good pick. And I know that the
That's how
Twitter
I
people
win.
are gonna.
Yep.
The people on Twitter are gonna go crazy for that.
Yeah.
that is
Well
that
done,
is-
Jennifer.
That is how she.
I-
That is how she wins.
Yes.
That is it.
Yep. I honestly forgot about that. Like literally thinking 2019 movies, that one didn't even pop in my head. That's bad. Oof. That was bad.
But what do you think about the pick?
Oh, great pick. I mean, I've never been so irritated in a movie before, just listening to so many people talk over each other. That's like my biggest pet peeve in like the world, but I loved it. I was literally thinking, I was like angry. I was like, oh my God, this has to stop. But I was like, dang, that's brilliant. You know, like how they made the movie. And The Sandman, I get it was a competitive year, but where was he in the Oscars, bro?
That's the
Theft.
snub. That is the snub of the Oscars.
Yep.
I mean, you know, Christian Bale, Matt Damon, great in Ford v Ferrari, but Sandler at the Oscars, that was the snub. That was the snub of the year. I mean, it's so funny because I had a really interesting experience with this one because I loved it. It's in my, I think, top 20 of the year. I went and saw it with my mom and sister, and they both hated it. They
Yeah.
hated it. They said, this is like, my sister was like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. No, literally. And now, granted, they're not like cinephiles or film fans as much as
Gotcha.
like we are, but they both well, my mom is, but she hated it too. They both hated it. And I was like, I loved that. Thought that was great. But that's a great pick, Jennifer. You've got a stacked board so far. And I'm very interested to see where Chris is going next.
I'm scared. Like I'm genuinely scared right now because I think that I pick and then you get 2 and then it comes back to me, right, Jack? That's how it goes.
Yes, that is how it
this
goes.
is, again, we're running out here. But you know what? I'm gonna get controversial with it and I'm just gonna pick Joker. I think that
Nice.
I
That
know
was what I
that's
was flipping
gonna
the coin on.
I know that Joker's gonna have controversy surrounding it. It might not win me over on Twitter even because I know that that's like a love-hate type movie. But I think that it's grown on me every single day that I think about it. Joaquin well deserved that Oscar. And just the movie itself is so creepy. I was terrified when I saw it in theaters just because of the social, like, you know, the news surrounding it all. So when I watched it in the comfort of my home, it was a completely different experience. And I just think it's such a great character study of Arthur Fleck and seeing him lose his sanity. And I don't know. I think that it could become the word that we've been tossing around, a masterpiece in years down the road. I know that it takes inspiration from Taxi Driver and all this, and a lot of people say, oh, it's a very boring movie, but something about it. Joaquin, if you have a performance that good, I will pretty much be locked in for the entire movie.
It's a good pick. No controversy for me on that. That was in my top 15. Trevor, what do you think about that pick?
I remember the news surrounding it. My family didn't want me to go see it. They're like, dude, you can't go see this. I was like, oh my God. There was like no one in the theater. It was my girlfriend and I and like 5 other people. And I mean, just the way Todd Phillips directed this too, like his shot selection was fantastic. But Joaquin Phoenix, I think we knew he was going to be good, but we didn't know he could be that good. And that score, whew, riveting. Not even riveting, it's haunting. I used to listen to that when I was driving and I would get like scared. I'd be like, oh God, dude, I gotta like slow down. This is crazy. It was bad. Great score, great movie, great pick. I was gonna pick when I picked Ford v Ferrari. That was my other pick. I was tails, Ford v Ferrari was heads.
Well, crap. Jennifer, what do you think? What do you think about Joker, Jennifer?
That's an awesome pick, and I've loved that movie ever since I saw it. And like I went to see that movie with my friends for one of my friends' birthdays, so which is funny because it's not really a birthday movie in my opinion. We all and like got out of the theater like, oh, okay, so that's what we just saw. But I've loved it ever since I've seen it. And when I joined Twitter, I was surprised at people saying that they didn't like it and the controversies and all the stuff going on with it because I really like it. And even if it takes inspiration from this, I don't care. I think it's awesome. I really like that movie. And like Chris said, it's an amazing character study and like one of the best that I've seen. And I do believe that one day people are going to be calling it a masterpiece, honestly.
I mean, I think we can all agree. That's a really solid pick. All right.
double whammy from Jack coming up. Let's see what he
I know.
see what he does with that.
Slave, huh?
Because here's the thing: there's some picks that I like myself that I don't think Twitter's gonna like. So I'm trying to think: do I pick like one that Twitter's gonna like, and then one that I'm gonna like? Because I still get a pick after as well. I get the final pick in the draft. So crap. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna go Toy Story 4.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm gonna go Toy Story 4.
Really nice.
It's not the most loved Toy Story. You know, everyone thinks like the original trilogy, and then Toy Story 4 is like an afterthought for a lot of people, but it's another really brilliant character study on Woody, the guy that started it all. And it's about him finding himself, not being attached to Andy or a kid. It's him finding his own life. Bringing Bo Peep back into the equation was a really interesting and I'd say welcome idea, because it shows, oh, hey, she's been out on her own and she's had a blast. And it really changes Woody's perspective on his life as a toy. I absolutely love that. I think the animation is spectacular. I love the score. And I would not lie, I saw it twice in theaters. I cried both times at the end when they said to infinity and beyond. And I was like, oh my God, it broke my heart. And I loved it. I loved the movie. It was in my top 10 of the year. What do we think, guys? What do we think, panel? What do we think? Who wants to start?
It was in my top 10 as well. And I think the animation is gorgeous. That's the first movie review I ever did on my channel with Andy. And we talked about how there's this one shot at the beginning where it's raining and under the car, and it's this shot of Bo Peep and Woody. It's a glorious shot. And this movie, while it is my least favorite Toy Story movie, it is more mature and it kind of tackles moving on in life, becoming an adult. So I feel like each Toy Story movie kind of speaks to a different phase of our lives if you grew up with them. I think it's very well done. It is my least favorite, but it still was in my top 10 that year. And I think it might have been top 6. It was very close to the top on my list. So solid pick there. I thought I could maybe slip that one past some people, but you got me.
I got you. Jennifer, what do you think?
This is actually my second favorite Toy Story movie. I love this movie so much. And the thing that I love so much about the Toy Story movies is that like we grow up with them. And when I saw this movie, it was like at the perfect point in my life because he was talking about moving on. And that's when like I was starting the whole college process. And I'm like, yes, this is the movie. I love this movie so much. So yeah, this is an awesome pick.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because it hit me at the perfect time too, because it was me getting ready to graduate college. It wasn't me getting ready to get into college. It was me getting ready to graduate out of college. So it was like really moving on, trying to find a job. Which I still have not found a job. I'm working on it, but you know, going outside, that was something that hit with me as well. I think for me, at least, as I've grown up with the Toy Stories, I've been kind of in the iteration that like Andy was in. It's like when he went off to college. I don't think I was going off to college in 2010, but you know, getting to that getting towards that time. And then this one came out at the perfect time because I was getting ready to graduate college. And so, yeah, I mean, these movies are just, they're so, we can relate to them so well. And they're toys, but we can relate to the stories. And I absolutely love that. Trevor, what do you think about this one?
Y'all are forgetting the unsung hero of the whole movie. Unsung heroes. You got, what was it, Bunny and Ducky? Gosh, bro. How y'all forgetting them, dude? They were so good. Forky, trash. An irritating little character, but what a story. When I saw it in theaters, I was like, that's like an 8 out of 10. But the more I think about it, I'm like, God, dude, it's so good. When you said that to Infinity and Beyond line,
it killed me. It killed me. It destroyed me on the inside. Oh, yeah. You know, it was brutal. Okay.
Let's not forget about Duke Kaboom, unsung hero as well.
Oh my gosh, totally.
Pretty good.
Duke Kaboom, Canada's greatest stuntman. So good, dude.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh, that's great. Okay. I got to think about this because I don't know where other films are going to fall. That's the thing. I'm trying to figure out what I can steal with the last pick in the draft, and I don't know. And that's what kind of scares me. You know what? I think the one I was about to take will drop to me. So I'm going to take John Wick 3.
Wow. Shocking to me. That shocks me. Okay. No, it's shocking to me. It's just shocking.
Well, okay. Remember, I'm not just pandering to myself. I'm pandering to the audience a little bit. And
fair.
Look, it's universal, pretty much universal, that the John Wick movies are relatively loved. And I think that this is my favorite John Wick. This one is. The third one is my favorite John Wick. That may be a hot take, but I love it. I love the on the run. In the first two movies, he kind of has the upper hand. He's kind of trying to, figure out who killed his dog. And then, we go on to the second movie as well. And he's got the blood pact and stuff like that. This one, we've seen him as like the alpha in the first two. In this one, he is torn down, on the run, and he's got pretty much everyone in New York after him. I love that. The action choreography is brilliant in these movies. I think the cinematography is really good. It lingers on shots when it has to. It's not as quick cutting as some other movies. Bohemian Rhapsody was a quicker cutting movie than John Wick 3. But I love this one. It was a great theater experience, and I think the audience will like it too. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that the film I was going to take is going to drop to me in the final pick. So I went with John Wick 3.
Well done.
I will say that it's actually my least favorite John Wick movie. I don't know,
Mine too.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But tell me
But
you didn't enjoy it.
you're.
Tell me you didn't enjoy it though.
There were moments of enjoyment for sure. That's the one that has the prolonged fight in like the glass at the end? Is that the
Yes,
one?
and it's also got the prolonged fight with the dogs.
Yeah. So it has those moments, but to me, as cool, as well choreographed as the action is, it loses focus for me. And that's the only issue I have with the John Wick is I love a good action movie like a Bond or a Mission Impossible with this really compelling narrative that coincides with, these action sequences that uplift it almost. That's why I love Fallout so much in the Mission Impossible franchise. It's because there's these rich plots. Oh, we got to figure out this. And it gets so in depth. And then the action accompanies it. And to John Wick, I just lose focus of what the overall point in like end game is of the movies. And that's my only issue. But I know that the masses are really big fans of John Wick. The box office numbers show it. So I think that like for the fans, like the Twitter poll, I think that they might eat it up. We'll have to see.
I mean, that's a clear pander pick on my part. I'm not proud of it, but
it's like when you have a cheat day.
Yeah, it's just kind of how it was. Jennifer, what do you think about this?
I haven't seen this movie, so I can't really give my opinion. I have seen the first two John Wick movies, and I enjoy them. So yeah, I mean, I can't really say anything else. I still have to watch this one. I missed it when it came out in theaters, and I'm still disappointed in myself because of it. But yeah.
Well, buckle up. It's a good time, in my opinion, at least. Trevor, what are we thinking?
I don't hate it because I really enjoyed it, and I saw it on a Friday morning at 9:00, and I was with a bunch of psychos when they broke that dude's neck with a book. Everyone was screaming and cheering, and I was like, "Is this a thing?" Because everyone was like, "Ah!" And I was like,
He went there
right.
and did that.
And I was like, "Okay."
At 9 a.m. on a Friday.
That's quite the way to start your day at 9 a.m.
Brother, I wouldn't want it any other way. And I was like, God dang, I'm ready to go. My least favorite John Wick movie, I think it does, as Chris used the word meanders. I like it. It does drag a little bit on too long. Halle Berry's character seemed kind of like a waste because she just kind of, I don't want to give it away. Sorry, Jennifer. But they set up for John Wick 4 and John Wick 5, John Wick 6. I'm a Keanu Reeves like stan, bro. Like he can't do no wrong. I'll see it. Any of your John Wick. You got my money. So nice pick. I think the audience is gonna like that one.
Yeah, I'm regretting it a little bit now, but I digress. We move on. Chris, you got the next pick. What are you taking?
You want to talk about a pander pick? If anyone knows me and has heard me talk about this movie, they will know I don't love it, but the people do. Marriage Story. Marriage Story.
You don't have the right. You have no right to pick that.
I think I'm going to have to put some bylaws in place about taking movies that you don't like.
You have to like it.
Pick, I'm not going to veto it.
That's
I'm
fair.
Not veto it.
No, if you guys want to, you can. I just want to
No, we're not gonna.
That would be ridiculous. But
it's still a positive review. 3 out of 5, the highest positive I have. I haven't seen this movie since not theaters, Netflix the day it dropped. It's a great like look into the divorce, and it's just arguing. But at the end of the day, I was just like, wow, I'm never gonna want to watch that again. But the performance is absolutely brilliant, if I may say. I think Adam Driver wins if Joaquin isn't. If Joker came out in another year, Adam Driver wins. But yeah, not crazy about it, but the people are. So there you go.
Now I'm really regretting my John Wick 3 pick because this was the film that I had like really crossed. No, actually, I take that back. This was the film I was going to take if I didn't take John Wick 3. And God, I hate that because I love that film. It's in my top 10 of the year. Adam Driver. I'm an Adam Driver stan. I love The Dead Don't Die, and a lot of people don't like that movie, and I love it because of Adam Driver in his red convertible smart car. That's another topic for another day. But it's a brilliant film when it comes to filmmaking. I think it's edited really well. The performances are fantastic, and the score is really nice as well. But Jennifer, what do you think about this pick?
I love this movie. I was about to say it and Chris beat me to it again. But I mean, I love this movie so much, and I've seen this movie way too many times. I don't know. It's like a sad movie, but like it's bittersweet. I don't know. I just think it's so good, and the performances are amazing. And yeah, Adam Driver was my second pick to winning Best Actor that year if Joaquin Phoenix wasn't nominated. Yeah, just awesome pick. And I know people on Twitter are gonna love this one because everybody talks about this movie. So
Oh yeah, they're gonna eat it up. And you gotta
Yep.
play. I had to play spoiler there for some of you guys.
Like Kobayashi.
I hate you for that. Trevor, what are we thinking about Marriage Story?
Do not compare me to my father. I think of that line all the time. It just comes in my head all the time. When he hits the wall and everything, that fight scene, it's so good. Great movie, great performances everywhere. Adam Driver's like, it's like kind of like a shame that he hasn't won an Oscar. And like, I get Joaquin won, but like, I don't know. It's like that year, if you took Leo out of that year, he would have won any other year. If you took Adam Driver out of that year, he would have won any other year. It was Joaquin's year. I think Adam Driver truly gave the best performance. It's a really good pick, you son of a.
Driver will get it eventually. He's got so much star power right now. He is getting cast in so many movies that it will come because he is that much of a talent. But I laughed when you said him punching the hole in the wall, and I shouldn't because that's a very serious scene. But I laughed because I used that image every time a movie got delayed last year. I would quote retweet the delay with the image of Adam Driver punching the wall. I mean, I know Chris, you probably saw me do it a billion times because you follow me on Twitter. I know you all probably did. Every time a movie got delayed on Twitter last year because of the pandemic, I would tweet that picture of him punching the wall. So,
yep,
fantastic,
great picture.
Fantastic pick. I am very disappointed in you, Chris, but
oh man,
we're gonna let it go. Jennifer, you are up. Please do not pander like Chris did.
I'm a little hesitant to say this one, but I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I think people on Twitter like this one. I'm gonna go with another A24 movie, Midsommar.
They're gonna eat that one up too. Yeah.
I have not personally seen that one, but I've heard it's really good.
I really liked it. Yeah, I really, really liked it. And the first time I saw it was on a plane, and it's very graphic and like so. Whoa. Yeah, it was so crazy. But I loved it so much that I ended up watching it on my TV, and it was like the best thing ever. I love this movie, and I love horror movies. That's my favorite genre, and like this movie is why I love horror movies. When they're able to get you psychologically like that, it's awesome.
The 5-year-old sitting behind you is not thanking you for that experience. But Trevor, Chris, have either of you seen this? What did you think?
What did you think, with it, Trevor? If you want to tell that.
Yeah, what did you think? Let's hear the story.
Chris, go ahead. What story?
I was gonna say he so like we had talked about this movie, how I'd never seen it, and he was like, he told me his experience with it, and then he sent me it in the mail. So I own Midsommar on Blu-ray, and I've never watched it because I said to him clearly, I said I don't want to watch this movie ever. It would probably traumatize me, and I got it in the mail. So
I will say
I got some other movies too.
I will say between this and her, like everyone knows I hate horror. I just hate it. Not like I don't hate like the filmmaking of horror, but like horror is just not my thing. But I have come to the realization that if I were to watch either Hereditary or Midsommar, I would probably watch Midsommar just based off of what I've heard.
I would too.
Thank you. I appreciate the seal of approval for that. And Florence Pugh, oh my God. But I have not seen it. But Trevor, what are your thoughts on the movie now? And do you think it's a good pick?
You know what? Film Twitter loves it. So Jennifer, that might be like the unsung hero of this whole draft. Everyone's like, oh my God, Midsommar. I'm on the fence of no, not for me at all. I was watching it, and then the scariest scene is I don't want to give it away because you guys are gonna watch it, but Jennifer, you might know what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure I know.
Yeah, it's like towards like maybe like the beginning, middle, with like the parents in the house. Dude, I'm not lying. I had I put the blankets up to my eyes. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm not a fan. I like a good horror movie. This one wasn't even horror. This was disturbing. It was like one where I literally had to go like, what the hell did I just witness? Like it was felt a little too real for me, so it's not for me. But I know people gobble that up. So fantastic pick. I was gonna do it early, and I said, nah, I can't do it because I don't like it. Then here goes Chris with Marriage Story. I'm kicking myself now, you bastard.
Yeah, I'm looking at the board right now. I think Jennifer has a really good team so far, and I think Twitter. If we're looking Twitter wise, I think she's got a solid team when it comes to film Twitter. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
Trevor,
we'll see.
Trevor, you are back for the wraparound. You got the next 2 picks. So who are you taking?
Let me see here. I'm going through this list on my phone. I'm like, oh, that one's taken. Oh, no, that one's taken too. Oh, that one. No, no one's seen that one.
And this is going to round out your draft, so you better make it good. These are your last 2 picks.
All right.
Get home.
First and foremost, I'm going Us. Jordan Peele's Us.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Dude, that one was, that scared me. The tether got me. Oh my God, that got me so good, dude. I kept doing that to my girlfriend all night. We're driving home like, the tether. She's like, you need to shut your mouth. So Us hit me hard. One I haven't stopped thinking about, ever. Not my favorite. I like Get Out much more, but Us is still like, alrighty.
Yeah, that was one of my first experiences in theaters in 2019. It got me. It was really masterfully done. Not masterpiece, but masterfully done by Jordan Peele. Chris, what are you thinking about this pick?
Same with you. It's one of the first I saw in 2019. I saw it with Cam. I vividly remember it because it was like, I saw it in the day on purpose. It was like 3 p.m. And like, I'm not a big horror guy. Everyone knows this. And so when she started talking like that, Trevor, I literally looked at Cam. I was like, I'm gonna have to walk out of the theater for a second. I was like,
come on.
It jarred me. It jarred me. I got back on course though. There was a course correction. I said, I know what I'm in for now. I'm going to finish this thing like a man. And you know what? It was very, very good movie. It was actually, because 2019, I didn't see that much. I think it might've been an honorable mention. But I just love the twists and turns at the end. I won't spoil anything, but there's a lot to dig into in the third act. And some people say it's messy and some people say that it's brilliant. I'm kind of in the middle. I think it gets a little,
I'm in the middle too. Yeah.
Like at times it gets a little muddy, but there's certain like things at the end that are revealed. I'm like, whoa, that's creepy. They did that very well.
Yep.
Yeah. The reveal at the end, I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
But Jennifer, what do you think about this one?
Well, actually, me and my mom, we were watching this movie. We guessed the reveal at the end, like midway through the movie. We were like, oh, what if this is what's going to end up happening? And then it ended up happening. But I mean, it still didn't ruin the experience of the movie because I really liked it. I love what Jordan Peele does with horror. And like I've already said, I'm a huge horror fan, and like this gets my approval for horror movies. It's really well done. It's not the best. It has its flaws, and like I agree, gets a little messy towards the end, but I still really enjoyed it. And I was really disappointed to not see Lupita that year get a nomination or at least praise, because I mean, it's always the horror movies at the Oscars that they kind of just ignore, and it happens again and again. And hopefully there's more horror later on, like in other Oscar years, because I feel like it's always forgotten about when a lot of really great performances come from horror movies.
The Invisible Man for this year.
Well, and I really hate to say it, but I think it was like the Delroy Lindo thing. It came out way too early. It came out a year more than a year before, because I think it came out like the end of January. It came out more than a year before the Oscars that it was going to be a part of, and it's like the Delroy Lindo thing where The Five Bloods came out in the middle of the summer, and he got snubbed everywhere because it just happened way too early. But I think the 2 biggest snubs of that year we've already covered, and are Adam Sandler and Lupita Nyong'o. I think they were the 2 big snubs, but it was kind of hard because some of those categories were stacked that Oscar season. So it's tough, but I like that pick as well.
I wanted to say something about that real quick, Jack.
Yeah.
So like we all talk about how stacked the lead actress category was, but, and I'm not, some of you may have seen it, but has anyone seen The Wife with Glenn Close? I know she was like the favorite and it was crazy, but I don't think anyone's even seen the movie. So it's crazy to me that she was the front runner, and I'm glad Olivia Colman won for the favorite. That's all I'm saying.
I hate to be
Gaga should have won. Gaga should have won that.
I hate to be this guy. That is the wrong Oscars.
Oh shoot, are we not talking about 20?
That is the 20. That is the
2018.
That's the
Oh,
2018.
I'm sorry.
Oscars.
I'm sorry. You know,
You're good, though, but you're good, though.
2019 and 2020 have been meshed in my head.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I hear you there, dude.
Thank you for calling me on that. I would have
I
literally
didn't-
rewatched this and been mad at myself.
I didn't want to be that guy, but
No, you're good,
I
dude.
want to
You're
be a good friend and make sure that you don't look.
Thank you.
That,
Thank
that
you.
people
Yeah.
don't call
Yeah.
you out on it. But yeah,
I'm a fake fan.
but your point actually works here though, because who won it the next year? Renee Zellweger for Judy. Who here saw Judy? Did anyone here see Judy? Jennifer, did you see
No.
Judy? No, I didn't see Judy. No one saw Judy. So your point still is valid though, Chris. Like no one saw Judy and she ended up winning. So it's just, yes, we could get into the Oscars, but that is a conversation for another day. Trevor, end your draft. What are you taking with your 5th pick?
All righty, Jack. This is a one coming for a curveball, and I don't think anyone's gonna think about it. But if you go on film Twitter, everyone is asking. I believe it's Robert Rodriguez who directed it. For a sequel.
Alita
Battle Angel, baby. Alita Battle Angel. A
can't believe you did
fantastic
it.
world, a fantastic world building. This is kind of my what's it called? Pander pick. Like I like the movie, but I know there's so many stands on the social media. And ladies and gentlemen, my draft is complete.
I love that pick so much because I love that movie. That's a great pick. Chris, what do you think?
Haven't seen it. Haven't seen it.
Okay, well then irrelevant. Jennifer, what do you think?
I really like that movie too. And I mean, I don't remember it that well because I've only seen it the one time I saw it in theaters. But I think it was like the ending lends itself up to a sequel. And I remember thinking, oh, I'm excited if they ever make a
Yeah.
if that'll ever happen. But yeah, I think it's a good pick. And I've seen a lot of hardcore Alita fans on Twitter, so I think that's gonna be good.
Yeah, Trevor pandering as well. But I like that. but here's I'm just gonna say here's the difference between that pander and Chris's pander. Alita, I don't think anyone thought was gonna get picked. So that is a surprise curveball pick. That is still kind of a pander. Where Chris picked one that was going to eventually get picked, and he doesn't like the movie, but he took it.
I will say this though. Before we were like, it can be for the poll or for your personal.
Look,
so,
I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm disappointed in you. But I get it.
Fair.
That's all.
Totally
I'm gonna say.
fair. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's a great pick. For me. That's a great pick. I love that movie.
Oh, it's great.
I think it's fantastic. But Jennifer, round out your draft. What are you taking?
Okay, so I'm taking another Marvel movie from that year, Far From Home.
There we go. Round it out. Why are you taking it? What do you like about it?
I like a lot about it. And actually, so I mean, hopefully nobody attacks me here, but this was the first MCU movie. Well, no, I lied. Endgame was the first MCU movie that I saw in theaters because I got into Marvel a bit later than other people. And this was the first one that I saw right after Endgame. And like, I don't know, it just I have I have the emotions attached to that because it was so exciting seeing it. I saw it on premiere day as well, and it was a lot of fun. And I really, really like it. And I've yet to complete seeing all the Spider-Man movies. Like I haven't seen the Andrew Garfield one, so I'm still a little bit late on that. But I really like this movie. I think it's a lot of fun, and I ended it with a smile on my face. And I like the character a lot, and I like what Tom Holland brings to the table. And I've seen some people on Twitter that also really like this movie and defend it. So I'm ending it with that.
Why?
Okay.
We'll just say you're not alone. The first Marvel movie I saw in theaters was Infinity War, only a year before. So, I kind of hopped on a little bit late as well. I like the pick. I think you've got a really stacked cast of a lot of really nice indie and a little bit and bringing it home with that big blockbuster in a Marvel movie in the 5th round. That's a great pick. I love that. Chris, what do you think?
I unashamedly really enjoy this movie, and I don't get the hate. I know our fellow movie YouTuber certain vids might attack, but we'll shut him down in the
He
comments.
won't if he goes after Jennifer, I will take him down myself. I do not care.
Oh man, but that's funny. But yeah, I think Mysterio is a top 5 MCU villain. I was talking about this earlier today.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's better than the Andrew Garfield movies. I'm sorry, that probably just triggered somebody. But
Certain Vin's coming after you now.
He's coming now. Yeah. But I enjoy it. I really do.
Yeah,
Great
Trevor,
pick.
what do you
Great
think?
pick.
You know what? I've always been kind of a hater on Far From Home. I enjoy Far From Home. I just wish Mysterio wasn't so like fake. Like everything he did, I feel like he didn't really have powers. He felt like he was like an anti Tony Stark. Like he was a kind of a genius in a way. And I wish he was actually mysterious with his powers. Thought it was a cool movie. I was a little bit let down because you go from Endgame, oh my gosh, all-time high, to Far From Home. It's really hard to follow up, and I think that's what brought into me when I saw Far From Home. I think it's a great pick. I know there's a lot of stands there, but for me personally, not my favorite. I thought about picking this earlier and I said, nah, not for me.
Yeah, that's all right. I like that pick a lot. Like I said, I think Jennifer rounded out her draft really well.
Oh, Jennifer's team's looking stacked, bro.
She's got a merge right here. I really like that. But not Trevor, you already picked. Chris, it's
I'll
your
take
turn.
another.
No, you're good. You are set. Chris,
Oh man,
round out your draft. What are you taking?
so this movie snuck into my top 10 of 2019. I'm looking out on Letterboxd right now. Rocket Man burning out his fuse of hair alone. I love Rocket Man. I think that it's a great music biopic. I think Taron Egerton was robbed of an Oscar nomination. Like, absolutely robbed of an Oscar nomination because of the previous year. I'm making sure I'm saying this right this time. The previous year,
if Rami
Malek won for, we could get into that. Singing versus lip syncing, I get upset about it. But I just think this movie is a ton of fun. I think that for the most part, it's a lot darker, but it's like the music's so upbeat. It does the great job of blending this like musical biopic. I don't know. I just really dug Rocket Man. How do you guys feel about it? I mean, the reactions weren't as positive as I thought. Not Rocket Man fans out there?
I like it.
I'm a huge Rocket Man fan. Sorry, did I interrupt you? Go.
No, go ahead.
No,
You're
okay. So I'm a huge Rocket Man fan. I was in between Far From Home and Rocket Man because I feel like Rocket Man is so underrated just because he didn't get the nomination. That movie like didn't really do. I don't know if it got nominated. I could be wrong at the Academy that year, but like it was so good. And what I liked about it, I thought it was gonna be just like Bohemian Rhapsody, and I'm a fan of Bohemian Rhapsody, but I liked how different it was because it does feel like a big musical number, and it's so awesome. I really like that movie. I think a lot of people are gonna like that one, and yeah. Great pick.
Yeah, what do you think, Trevor?
Oh, I think it's a fantastic movie. I think Rami Malek's really good in Bohemian Rhapsody, but I mean, Elton John's one of like the greatest and most unique singers of all time, and Taron Egerton, pitch perfect match this dude. Pitch perfect. And I get it's not about singing, but for Christ's sakes alive, dude. Bohemian Rhapsody, he won? Bro, Bradley Cooper even sang. Okay, don't get me started. I can make a rant about the Academy right now, but I don't know if I think that's a good pick. I don't think that was his best pick. That's me.
Are you talking about my movie? Because the movie I could have
Yes.
picked over it?
Yeah.
Nah. I disagree, respectfully. We'll have this discussion after.
We will do honorable mentions after whatever wasn't picked. We'll throw some of those out there. But I like the pick. I mean, I could go on about the Oscars as well. I think if Remy's gonna win it the year before, Egerton not getting a nomination for arguably a better performance is kind of criminal. But again, I think that category was a little more stacked.
Yes, it definitely was.
Than the year before. But I like the pick. I like the way that they went with it. Made it more of like a musical than an actual biopic. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was good. Chris, your draft is done, which leaves me to round out the draft. And I could go so many ways here. But I'm going with the ultimate pander. Because I feel like I have a really weak draft, kind of a weak draft. I think my first two are really good. I think my second two are not great. The Irishman. Give it to me. Give me The Irishman. Martin Scorsese, Pacino, De Niro, Pesci. You got that all-star cast with one of the greatest directors of all time. It's a very long movie. But we all just watched a 4-hour Snyder cut. So is it really that long? That's the argument I'm going to make there. It is an epic of a movie. I love mob movies. I have really grown with mob movies from the past year, 2020 specifically. I watched a lot of mob movies. There's just something about that genre that just, I am so engrossed in the characters and what's going on and just the stories. And, you know, and it's not completely based on a true story, but kind of based on a true story. I'm a sucker for those types of movies. I'm taking The Irishman to round out my draft. Might be kind of a pander because it's not my favorite movie of 2019, but a lot of my favorite movies were already taken off the board. So who wants to start? Who wants to start?
I'll do the honors.
Be honest.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm gonna be honest. I never finished this movie because I got bored, and I mean, I need to give it another try. But that's happened to me, and like I've secretly been keeping that in because so many people love this movie, and you know how film Twitter gets when you like disagree with anybody on there. So yeah, I mean, I think the performances are great, but I don't know. I just didn't finish it. I was playing it on Netflix, and then I mean, to be fair, it was late at night, so it could have been that I was tired. Plus, it's like a lengthy movie, but I just didn't finish it. I need to really finish that movie.
Hey, I totally get it. Like I said, it's not my favorite movie, but
yeah,
I needed to make up some ground with the Twitter poll. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, The Irishman's a movie that I thoroughly enjoy. I've only seen it once just because 3.5 hours is a lot to rewatch, but it's a movie that I surprisingly quote a lot. And it's the inspiration for the way me and my friends talk when we're hanging out. Like after that movie came out, we all started talking like this when we were together. You'd be like, hey, I can't do the accent now. It just comes out naturally. That would have been embarrassing, but it's something that we just do. I think Trevor might have heard it before, but I just do it for some reason. And it's like it's like the final movie like that we will probably get from Scorsese with those legends. So it's almost like a love letter to his career, in my opinion. I think it's a very well done movie. I actually own it on Criterion. I want to revisit it on physical media soon.
Yep.
I do too.
Great pick though, Jack. And I think a lot of people will dig it. It's one that people are starting to enjoy more. It's kind of aging like a fine wine. I see among people.
100%.
Yeah. Trevor, what do you think?
I'm in the same boat as Jennifer. I've never finished it, not because I didn't think it was boring, because I never found 3.5 hours to do it. And I watched the Snyder Cut at 2 a.m. That's how I had found 4 hours with Chris. We watched it. That's how I found 4 hours. So The Irishman I own on Criterion as well. So I need to rewatch, because I remember the first 30 minutes I watched, I was really into it. And I love the Criterion is my favorite Criterion cover.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that was weird. Sorry, there's people freaking screaming in my apartment, but
You're good.
It's okay.
Like, oh,
can't hear it. You're good.
Good. I think it's a good pick. I'm honestly surprised one movie didn't get picked from the DC universe, but we'll talk about that.
We're gonna get into honorable mentions, but yeah, that rounds out the draft. I will go through everyone's lists real quick. I got one person who I think is kind of the front runner here, but we can talk about that in a minute. So Trevor, we've got Avengers End Game, Dr. Sleep, Ford v Ferrari, Us, and Alita Battle Angel. Jennifer's got Parasite, Jojo Rabbit, Uncut Gems, Midsommar, and Spider-Man Far From Home. Chris has Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Little Women, Joker, Marriage Story, and Rocket Man. And of course, I have 1917, Knives Out, Toy Story 4, John Wick 3, and The Irishman. I think Jennifer's got the best draft. That's all 100%. I'll say. I think she's got a stacked draft with a lot of variety, but let's get into some honorable mentions, guys. What are we surprised did not get picked? Trevor, you said you had one. What is it?
Shazam. I was going to pick Shazam, but I went with Alita because I picked my pander pick, but I already had a comic book movie. Shazam's loved by lots of people. I'm really, it came out 2019, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm shocked. I texted Chris. I said Shazam. And he said, nope, one better. I said, okay, dude.
No, here's my thought process for that is I already had a DC movie with Joker and the music biopic Rocket Man. I just feel like that might get a little bit of a different audience 100%. In there. But Shazam, like, had I not picked Joker, I would have gone with Shazam easily.
Yeah, I mean, Shazam was a fun movie. It's one of my favorite in the DCEU. I think it's very fun. Jennifer, did you get to see it? What do you think about Shazam?
Yeah, I actually saw it recently because I was also getting into the DCEU because I wasn't a really big fan of it before, like, honestly, the hype with the new Snyder Cut of Justice League, which, by the way, was fantastic. I saw it the other day and it was, like, awesome. But I really like Shazam. I think I have it as my second or third in the DCEU. And, yeah, I mean, I'm honestly, like, I didn't really think we were going to bring it up here in the drafts because I personally haven't seen too much of it on Twitter. Like, that's just me. But I still think it's an awesome movie. So
yeah, I think it's definitely solid. A few that I had that I am not surprised they didn't get picked, but the Peanut Butter Falcon is one of my favorites of 2019.
Yep,
I absolutely adore that
I need
film.
to see
that. Booksmart is another one. I think one of my favorite comedies. I didn't think either of those would get picked because they're really small indies. But then How to Train Your Dragon 3: The Hidden World.
I almost picked that. I almost
fantastic animated movie. Absolutely brilliant movie. And Long Shot, one of the best.
I was gonna pick Long Shot, dude. My favorite rom-com of all time is Long Shot.
Those were the ones that didn't get picked that I was a little surprised on. Chris, Jennifer, do you guys have any that you were surprised didn't get picked?
I'm not really surprised that this didn't get picked, but I was gonna pick it because I was kind of going for more like indies that a lot of people on Twitter really liked. I don't know if you guys have seen it, The Lighthouse. I saw it recently, and like, I don't know, I feel like that one has a lot of buzz on Twitter, and I almost picked it, but I was a little hesitant on picking it because I've seen two extreme sides on Twitter. Either people really, really love that movie, or people hate it and like just don't get it, which I understand. I personally am on the side that loves it, but I understand if people don't like it because it's kind of a weird one and like a little bit of a slow burn, if I'm being honest, but I still really, really like that movie.
Yeah, that's another one kind of like Doctor Sleep, where I've seen it on the shelves and I'm like, do I want to pick it up? Is it the time? Is it the time? I will get to it
Yeah, I feel like
eventually.
you definitely have to be in like a certain mood to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I love probably before Batman because of Robert Pattinson. I mean, I may check it out,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, that's an interesting pick. Chris, what do you think? You got any that were you're surprised didn't get picked?
Well, I was kind of gonna bounce off the Lighthouse. If you want to talk about the ultimate like pick that would just sway the Twitter vote, I think that would do it. Just because I feel like film Twitter loves it. I hate it. I hate that movie. Like I saw it with a friend and we were like, this is terrible. But I don't even I looked into it and I was like, I think this is just super pretentious personally. But Robert
That's
Pattinson
exactly
is
how
the
I
man.
feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is
It's
exactly
just
how I
like
feel at the same time though. And
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that director, another movie that I've seen from him is The Witch, that a lot of people hyped up. It has like 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I absolutely hate that movie. I don't get it at all. I don't get it. And like I don't know if I was in the right mood to watch The Lighthouse, because sometimes pretentious movies, they're just not for me. And like it's like they're trying too hard. But I don't know, something about this I really liked. And I also think both of them, William Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, were robbed of getting nominations that year. Again, with horror movies. I don't know what it is with the Oscars and horror movies. But yeah, I totally get you, Chris, because it is really pretentious.
Yeah, and like I'm bouncing off that. The performances were fantastic, and I actually think Pattinson stole it. Like I know everyone talks about Defoe, but Pattinson's
Oh
performance
yeah, for
is
sure.
crazy good in that. And again, it's just another way of him breaking from the Twilight Shell. I can't wait to see
Hmm.
him as the Batman. I
Yeah,
can't
I'm so
wait.
excited.
I mean, I am very excited as well. I think that it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. But that is it, guys. If you want to vote for who you want to win, right now, when this video is posted, there is a Twitter poll out there somewhere. I don't know where, but we'll figure it out. But I know that Trevor, Jennifer, Chris, myself will all be retweeting. We'll be throwing it out there and trying to pander for our vote. I will say, let's not push it too hard. Let's let the people decide. But we will. And I don't know how long I'll let the poll run, maybe a few days, maybe a day, maybe a few days. And whoever has the highest percentage on the poll wins this draft. So do you like Jennifer's draft? That's really indie heavy with Far From Home at the end. Do you like my draft that has some really interesting picks that tried to pander? Do you like Trevor's draft, or do you like Chris's draft? Let us know. Also go down in the comments and let us know. Whose draft did you like the best? Maybe eventually that'll get into the voting process, but for now, go over to Twitter to vote on the poll. But I want to say thank you to Jennifer and Trevor for being the guests today and coming on. I really appreciate it. And I want to say thank you to Chris for for accepting the offer to be the co-host for the show. We'll see you next week. And next week, we will have 2 new guests doing a brand new category, which we have not picked out yet. Chris, I'm sure we'll talk after this and pick out next week's category as well. But guys, that is pretty much it. Thank you for checking out episode 1 of Movie Drafts. Cannot wait to see who you vote for in the poll, and we will see you in the next video.